The smarter you are, the more confident you should feel. That is what most people assume. More knowledge, more ability, more certainty. But here is what actually happens. The more you understand about something, the more clearly you can see every way it could go wrong, every gap in your knowledge, every place where you might fail. And instead of confidence, what grows is doubt. If you have ever felt like the more you learn, the less sure you feel, this video is for you. This is Invisible Wisdom, and today we are talking about something that is not yet discussed enough. Why the people who think the deepest are often the ones who trust themselves the least. Let us start with something that will make you feel less alone. In 1999, two psychologists at Cornell University, David During and Justin Kruger, published a study that changed how we understand human confidence. They found that people with very less knowledge in a subject tends to massively overestimate their ability. They do not know enough to know what they were missing. But the people who actually studied the subject deeply are the ones who understood its complexity. They consistently underestimate themselves. They knew exactly how much they did not know, and that knowledge made them hesitant. This became known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, and buried inside it is a truth that most people misses. Doubt is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are paying attention. But knowing that does not always make it easier to live with. Here is an example. Think about a student who studies harder than anyone else in the room. They read beyond the syllabus. They question things others expect without thinking. And on the day of exam, while the students who barely study walk in relaxed and unbothered, the one who prepares the most sit there convinced they are going to fail. Not because they are less capable, but because they can see the questions that do not have clean answers. They can feel the edges of their own understanding in a way the other students simply cannot. That feeling, the weight of knowing how much you do not know, is something highly capable people carry almost constantly. There is another layer to this. The psychologist Carol Dweck of Stanford University spent decades studying how people respond to challenges and failure. Her research identified two types of mindset: a fixed mindset, where people believe ability is set and unchangeable, and a growth mindset, where the people sees ability as something that develops through effort and learning. What she found was that highly intelligent people, especially those who were praised for being smart from a young age, were actually more likely to develop a fixed mindset. Because when your identity is built around being the smart one, every challenge became a threat. If you try and struggles, what does that say about who you are? So smart people often avoid the very risk that would help them to grow, not because they're lazy, but because failures feels like more than just a setback. It feels like proof of something they have been afraid of all along. And then there's the inner voice, the one that sounds reasonable, the one that says, just think about things a little more before you start. Just make sure you have covered every angle. Just wait until you feel ready. It sounds like wisdom, but often it is doubt wearing the costume of preparation. Here is what I want you to notice about all of this. Every single thing that makes doubt so painful in a smart person. The ability to see complexity, the awareness of gaps, the sensitivity of failure is also what makes them genuinely good at what they do. The same mind tells you all the ways something could go wrong is the same mind that catches mistake others miss. That thinks carefully when others rush. The, pres- the, pres- the produces work with real depth because it refuses to settle for the easy answers. The gift and the weight are the same thing. You cannot have one without the other. So, what do you do with this? Or you stop waiting to feel certain before you begin? Certainty is not coming, not for people who think the way you do. What you are waiting for is a feeling that your mind will never give you because your mind is too honest about the world to pretend that certainty exists. What you do instead is to act alongside the doubt, not after it disappears, alongside it. You start the thing while the voice is still talking. You submit the work while you still see its flaws. You speak while your heart is still beating faster than you would like. Because the difference between a smart person who grows and the one who stays stuck is not talent. It is not knowledge. It is the willingness to move while uncertain. You already have the mind. You always had it, right? What you are building now is the courage to trust it. If this is something you needed to hear today, share it with someone who thinks too much and does too little because of it. They will know exactly who they are. I'm a graduate figuring out life, one story at a time. If you're doing the same, subscribe to Invisible Wisdom. Every video is one step closer to understanding the things nobody talks about, what everyone feels. See you in the next video. Until then, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon for more such interesting videos. Thank you.